Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM, WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams.
And I'm Matt Horsey, the LeaderMan's discombobulated sidekick. Good morning. It's nice outside. It's lovely. There's no water on your car at all if you're parked outside.
Don't forget, of course, we are being seen around the world on the live video stream. That's available to you at talk973.com. The link's right there at the top middle of the page. One click will get you there if you're on a mobile device. Looking for that video, well, you can get it with YouTube. Just put Mornings with the LeaderMan, LeaderMan, all one word, into the search. If you're on a mobile device just looking our audio to save a little bandwidth, well, we suggest TuneIn or iTunes, and many other players will play it too. Just put WEEB into the search, and if you're on our website, the icon that says Listen Live is in the upper right-hand corner of any of our web pages. One little tap of that, and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area, going to be nice, mostly sunny with a high, well, we'll just say 70. Then tonight, partly cloudy, low of 45. Tomorrow, things will start to cloud up pretty quickly tomorrow. You might see a few scattered showers. They'll be light and brief if they are. With a high of 65, rain, better chance of rain developing in the evening, where it will become partly cloudy, scattered showers, low of 47. Sunday, partly cloudy, small chance of an isolated shower, high of 61. So the shower events going to be brief. A lot of it may not even reach the ground. It's just going to be a little annoying. This is moisture that started out in Hawaii and is now reaching us. But anyway, might want to keep that little umbrella just beside you just in case, because you might get a 20, 30, 40-second shower on you.
Love me some Hawaii weather.
Where were we? Sunday, partly cloudy, isolated shower possible, not probable, high of 61. Monday, 40% chance of scattered showers, mostly cloudy, high of 55. And Tuesday, we are same way, with a high of 60% chance of getting wet and a high of 62. Right now around the Sandhills, winds are from the west-southwest at 12, visibility wide open at 10 statute miles, pressure is 2985. Dew point, another day we need to bottle and keep for August, is at 28. Humidity 80 to 38% is clear and 53 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. All righty, it is 7:27 past the hour. With all the recent controversies, United Airlines would like to share their new policies regarding pets with you.
In light of recent and unfortunate events, United Airlines is proud to announce the following policy changes. Effective immediately, all pets traveling with United Airlines will now be allowed to ride inside the plane. Additionally, from now on, it will be unlawful for United Airlines personnel to force small pets and animals to pull the beverage cart. And finally, starting 2 weeks from Thursday, the use of whips and cattle prods will be reserved exclusively for passengers. Thanks for listening, and remember to fly the friendly skies, but only if you have an extremely high tolerance for irony.
Okay, nice to know the policy before you get on the plane. We have a quick update from the late, great Stephen Hawking, who's now in heaven.
He didn't believe in heaven.
Well, maybe he does now.
We now take you to the very latest from Stephen Hawking.
Oh crap. I was wrong. There is a God. So much for the Big Bang Theory. Hey, look. There's Prince and Tom Petty. Let's get this party started.
This has been the very latest from Stephen Hawking.
Okay. First round of March Madness is underway. So it's time for... it's time for...
Bracket Busters.
That's right. It's either the most annoying sport report you've ever heard or the greatest, if you're a fan of over-the-top sports puns.
And
Now it's time for NCAA March Madness Bracket Busters. Bracket Busters. Bracket Busters. Number 13, Buffalo beat number 4, Arizona. Hold up. Let's bust in with today's Bracket Buster Pun of the Day.
Bracket Buster Pun of the Day.
Oklahoma got beat by Rhode Island. Oklahoma, you're going home sooners rather than later. Oh, you've been busted.
That's a double pun.
And finally, Loyola beats Miami. Sorry, Hurricanes, you've been blown out.
Bonus pun.
More basketball action today when we find out who else will be.
Bracket Busters.
There you go. Of course, State got beat yesterday. They're out. Miami got beat. They're out. 2 ACC teams. So, Duke will play again tomorrow. They won. And everybody's all excited about the State coach. You know, I have my doubts. I mean, who was it? I'm trying to remember his name now. Gottfried was the last coach of State. You know, he started out pretty good, about the same way, pulling off a few big games like with Duke and Carolina and winning some of those. And everybody said, oh, we got potential. And turned out he was just, what's the word I'm looking for? He just couldn't close the big games. That's it. And we get to the first NCAA game, and what we got in the ACC tournament, we couldn't close that one. And then we got in the NCAA tournament, ACC tournament, couldn't close on that, and got beat early. I believe it was second round. And then we get to NCAA first round, and poof. Now, Duke has been beaten the first round by a team they should have stomped before. That's happened in the past. This time they played Iona and won by about 14 or something. But it's the coach, you know, that separates the men from the boys, where the coach can get the team rallied to the point that they can win the must-wins. And we just can't seem to get past that point at State for some reason. But we're going to give it another year before I start really getting in this mess. And yes, I'm a State alumni. I get to complain. One lady we could all learn from is a woman in San Diego who just turned 100 this week. And she says her daily routine is exercise, beer, and potato chips. Her name is Matilda Cercia, and she celebrated her birthday with lifelong friends who's 4 days older than she is.
And I do my exercises every day and have my beer. Eat my potato chips.
My girl.
And it works for her. So.
Proof once again, it's all in the genes.
My grandmother lived to be 105. She, you know, grew up and lived on a farm all her life, and she drank her buttermilk. She had her biscuits. She used real butter. She did all the things that are supposed to kill you, and it never did kill her. I mean, she'd probably still be here today. When she was 105, they called from the rest home. My father was her power of attorney, because he was an attorney, but anyway, and said that, and you know, she had dementia since she was really bad, since Alzheimer's from the age of about 65, and it got real bad at 75, meaning she could talk and all that good stuff, but she couldn't remember anything. And anyway, but she lived to be 105, and they called her one day, called the house and said that she won't eat. And he says, well, if she won't eat, she won't eat. And well, shortly after that, that was it. But eventually Alzheimer's gets you in that you forget how to swallow and you end up choking to death. I guess all she could do at that point at 105 was lie in the bed and make a few sounds. Alzheimer's is a terrible disease, as bad as cancer. And I hope one day we can find a cure for all of it.
Boy, amen to that. Hey, question for you now. Do you think that Congress should be running the airlines?
No.
Did you hear about the
You got to have certain standards in that that the airlines have to meet. I don't mind big government in there setting some rules so that the airlines don't plow all over you. Otherwise, it'd be a huge bumping episodes going on at every gate. You know, there's got to be a little penalty. If you go and buy a ticket, they need to deliver the product, whether permitting. But for them to, they're already allowed to overbook to some extent, but they got to give you something when they bump you. And that would never happen if there wasn't government. I can pretty well guarantee you that.
That would never happen if there wasn't government?
No, compensation would never happen.
Oh.
You just get bumped.
Oh, I absolutely
And we'll see
disagree.
if we get you on another flight.
Oh, no. If we weren't so heavily regulated, I think the free market would handle that. But
I doubt it.
Just like when you go to Walmart.
You got to remember, this is a monopolistic industry.
Yes, protected heavily by the government.
No.
Yes, it is.
Do you understand the definition of monopolistic?
Yes.
What is it?
One group rules it, but it's not a monopoly. It's a.
I didn't say monopoly.
It's actually, you said monopolistic. It's a cartel essentially, and it is protected by the government. So, but anyway, my point is,
monopolistic is when it limits how many people can get in because it's so expensive to get into the business that somebody else can't just start up today because there's lots of things. You can't get airport space. You can't get a lot of things.
Yes.
And that blocks everybody else out. So
just like taxis, which are also
just a few get to play.
But anyway, the point is that Senator John Kennedy and Senator Catherine Cortez Masto have introduced the WOOF bill, the WOOF Act. This is what I think is just a gross overstepping of statist federal government. But it's the Welfare of Our Furry Friends Act that would prohibit airlines from putting dogs in the overhead bin. Now, do you think that an airline will ever put a dog in an overhead bin again?
I would have thought they'd do it in the first place.
No, but, you wouldn't think that somebody would murder his child either, but that happens too. Anyway, the point is,
and
Congress better not pass that damn thing.
Well, I haven't read it, so I'll have to read it first. A guy in Florida just gave his wife a kidney for their 23rd wedding anniversary. He had been on dialysis. She had been on dialysis, and he turned out to be a perfect match. The names are Monica and Caesar Cali. This clip includes Monica and Caesar talking about the surgery.
My husband did all the workup for me and turned out to be a complete match. So I guess after 23 years, we get to live.
We're still a match.
We're still a match.
We get to go home. We're excited. We miss each other.
Yeah, today's the big day. So she's coming back home. Back to normalcy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got us back into shape. You got us strong, ready to tackle the next adventure of our lives. And there's no way I could have done this without your help. I couldn't. It's impossible.
Thankful for everything that has been done for us to make it come to this end and a beginning of our new freedom. So I'm very thankful, very happy, and very excited for this new life now.
And this is an amazing, amazing gift. God put this man into my life for a reason. He really did put him 23 years ago into my life for a reason. He knew what he was doing, and he saved my life.
All right. Turns out good for them. And it turned out good on Spirit Airlines. Speaking of planes, where big government requires those portable defibrillators on there now. Saved a person's life. A Spirit plane was flying from Detroit to Orlando on Tuesday, and a man had a heart attack and nearly died, but two nurses and a guy who just finished CPR training saved his life. Here's the clip.
Like his heart stopped. He was in arrhythmia.
He was completely unresponsive, head tilted,
jaw open and not breathing properly.
You know, the guy's unresponsive and no pulse, so we pulled him out and put him on the ground.
Someone picked him up from that side. We picked him up from the feet and got him from there, from his seat onto the ground.
So we did CPR for a couple minutes, got an AED, put the pads on, shocked him, and it got his pulse back.
That's why they put those AEDs everywhere, and they work.
The nurses together saved his life. He was awake when they left the plane on the stretcher.
I think it was a few of us that got the ball rolling. I'm not going to take any credit, but it was just, an amazing chance to be a part of saving someone's life.
Thank goodness for that government-ordered defibrillator.
What, you think they wouldn't do it without the government?
I doubt it.
So what is your vision of how airlines would run if the government wasn't involved?
Well, they'd be pretty much parked on the ground because you got to have the FAA involved. Let's just not get off into the weeds this morning. We all heard about the bridge in Florida that collapsed yesterday. Still trying to look for possible victims of it. I'm not going to really get into it other than the fact that bridge 800 feet long and the center support was not built yet. They were going to put the bridge up, then build the center support to the center, wherever it ended up. Because when you set something like that down, it has built into it what they call a camber, which is basically a curve upwards from both ends. And as the weight goes down on it, the bridge settles down and becomes relatively flat. So there's no longer a camber. But that probably still had a bit of a camber left in it, which is what they would probably want just for drainage. So the water would drain to the ends of the bridge versus spilling over on the highway. But something didn't go according to theory, and I'm sure they were, because you heard they didn't have that center support in place. But that was designed, intentionally that way. They felt like they thought the bridge would hold itself while they built the center support before people started using it and putting weight on it. And I guess in theory it would work, but in reality it didn't. The weight was too much, and the concrete and steel didn't hold, and down she came.
And it was not open yet. All the reporting yesterday, they were talking about students on it, and it was not open.
It wasn't supposed to open until December.
At most, they had a couple of construction guys on checking something out, but all the deaths were on the road below.
Yeah. The crushed cars. But speaking of trucks and bridges and the like, there still is a train track that goes across P Street in Raleigh. And it's got big flashing signs there because you kind of got when you go under the bridge, you got to go up a hill immediately. And the long 18-wheelers can't clear the bridge. Because I've seen many a truck get stuck under that bridge. Because when the cab starts to go up the hill in front of the bridge, it wedges the truck under the bridge. And they have to let almost all the air out of the tires for them to be able to get it out. And I've seen it happen many, many, many times.
Man, that's got to be a sick feeling when you're a truck driver, huh?
Well, it's got a big flashing light that says clearance 12 feet 6 inches, so you can't miss it.
In that case.
And it's coming at you from both sides, and it flashes 24/7. Some truck, you're really stupid if after all that you say, oh, well, I'll clear that, and you're stuck. Never seen the bridge get tore down from it, but because it's a 35-mile-an-hour area, and trucks can't get up to 35 at that area right there anyway. So they just basically get stuck under there. But someone posted a video on Twitter of a moving truck trying to drive under a low bridge and ripping its roof off. It was a Ryder truck, which means it was probably a really inexperienced driver who had rented it for a move. But this is the audio from it. You can clearly tell what's going on here. Just ripped the top of the truck off like a can opener. Boy, do you feel stupid now, huh? And then Burt Reynolds is getting some attention from his interview on the Today Show yesterday, especially a comment he made about Hoda's lips. To me, in listening to this, it sounds like Burt is a bit wasted. I don't know.
In his cups?
The what? Drinking, yeah. But he may not be. I can't say for sure, but he sounds a little slurry, and what he says just doesn't make any sense.
Burt Reynolds, good morning.
Good
How
morning.
are you?
Well, great since you left me. It was an hour ago, wasn't it?
It was probably about that.
How'd you got home all right? I am so proud of you for not having the lips larger.
Okay, all right, Burt. Thank you. The movie. Oh, thank you.
How old is he? He's like 80, right?
I don't know. But he said, I'm so proud of you for not making your lips larger.
He
in other words, putting the silicone in them.
Yeah.
Well, he would know. He sound a little, I would, slurry.
Confused, yeah, unless there really is a backstory, but she wasn't responding particularly, so kind of she's thinking, yeah, he's out to lunch.
And Kendall Jenner was on Ellen yesterday. Another one of the ditzoids who live off of the Kardashian-Jenner name.
He's 82.
Okay. And she was on Ellen yesterday trying to explain why she has a tattoo in her mouth that says meow.
I need to see this tattoo that you did.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't
I'll
believe
try and
you...
do it without messing up my lipstick.
But why would you do this? Show...
I was drunk.
I know.
I was drunk. I was
of
not
all
thinking
places
clearly.
to put a tattoo. Show people...
In my face. In it.
All right.
You can see it?
It says meow.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so wait. Why meow? Why there?
It was literally the first thing that came to my mind. Like, I don't know, just like my drunk thoughts.
You were drunk and someone said, do you want a tattoo? We went, meow. Like...
It's just so funny. I think she's 18, but she's out partying, getting drunk. I mean, to tell you, the second she turned 18, off came that bra and the see-through tops came out. You know, she had to skank herself down like the rest of the family. What else we got? All right, this is might have a little funny value to the those of you into the NCAA brackets. This is fake Shaq.
She's 22.
Now?
That's what it says.
Well, seemed like just yesterday she was taking her top off. I mean,
probably was.
Well, she's a high-paid model now, and I'm serious. The second she turned 18, they had her on the runway in see-through tops walking down, and it just, anyway. It's her life. She can live it her way. Big Shaq was back on the Tonight Show to make his picks for the first round of the NCAA tournament. Here's the bit.
I'm Shaq. Here's my bracket. It's a Shaq bracket. It's a Shacket. Let's fill it out. Arizona versus Buffalo. I love Buffalo. Look at them. They're the Shack of the animal kingdom. Plus, Buffalo wings. It's not made out of buffalo, but I'll eat them anyway. Buffalo wings. Texas versus Nevada. Nevada or Nevada? Which one is it? Make up your mind, dude. I'm not Shock. I'm Shaq. Texas wins. Houston versus San Diego State. I love coming San Diego. Where in the world is Shaq? He's in San Diego. San Diego State wins. Michigan versus Montana. Hannah Montana. Best TV show of all time. Miley Cyrus. More like Smiley Cyrus. I came in like a basketball. Montana wins. Wichita State versus Marshall. Marshall's my favorite department store. Trendy tops? Love it. Home accessories? Love it. Designer handbags? Yes, please. Marshall wins. Arkansas versus Butler. I love Butlers. Alfred, Mr. Belvedere, Jeffrey. You know Jeffrey's last name was Butler. A Butler named Butler? That's hysterical. Butler wins. Let's skip to the end. Louisiana State wins. That's where I went to school. I'm Chuck.
Okay. That was kind of funny.
Yeah. Had a little thought behind it.
The writers spent some time on that one.
Yeah. And I'm sure they spent all afternoon taping it till they get each little segment correct.
Yeah.
And then splice it together. All right, let's go over this day in history right quick. Things happening on this day. Way back when. It was on this day. I can get to it. Come on, baby. Cakes.
By the way, did you realize Linda Thompson is 67?
I don't know who Linda Thompson is.
I don't know either, but there it is.
13 years ago in 2005, Robert Blake was found not guilty of a 2001 murder of his wife, Bonnie Blakely. He was guilty as hell, but it's California. What do you expect? In 1995, EZ announced that he had AIDS. He died 10 days later. In 91, Eddie Van Halen, Valley Bertinelli had a baby boy in L.A. Too bad the marriage didn't survive. In 91, 8 members of Reba McEntire's band was killed, along with the road manager and 2 pilots when their chartered plane crashed in California's mountains. Birthdays today. Let's see.
Well, Linda Thompson used to be married to Bruce Jenner.
Let's see. Anybody worth talking about?
And it looks like she has had collagen in her lips.
Lauren Graham from Gilmore Girls is 51 years old today. Former NFL quarterback.
You ever watch
Rodney
Gilmore
Peete
Girls?
is 52. What?
You ever watch Gilmore Girls?
Yeah.
Wow, what an annoying show that is.
Flavor Flav, Matt's favorite rapper, is 59 today.
Yeah, my boy.
Nancy Wilson, the blonde in Heart, is 64. Erica Estrada. Frank Poncherello on Chips is 69.
That was Eric Estrada. Erica is his sister.
I'm just telling what it says here. Jerry Lewis would have been 92 today. James Madison, fathered the Constitution, 4th President of the United States.
How old would he have been today?
He was 5'4", 100 pounds. Was born on this day in 1751 and died in 1836. Things we need to know so we don't sound stupid today or ignorant. They're experimenting with some rule changes in minor league baseball to try to keep the game moving, like a 15-second pitch clock where there are no runners on base. And when the game goes to extra innings, each inning will start with a runner on second base. They're saying the Northeast could start spring next week with yet another snowstorm. The reboots continue. Now CBS is going to bring back a new version of Cagney and Lacey. It started out as rumor, now it's fact. Bill Gates met with President Trump at the White House yesterday. Trump gave him hairstyling tips.
He said he
they
doesn't
both need some.
He says he doesn't like the America First idea.
Well, he'll have to get over it, won't he? Because Hillary did not win. Sorry. Woo! Get used to it. There are reports that Donald Trump Jr. and his wife, Vanessa, might soon be getting a divorce. They have 5 kids. Taco Bell has sold 53 million orders of its nacho fries. I don't think I've ever had their fries.
If I had some, I would give you some, Steve, even though they're nacho fries. Oh, man.
Nobody's laughing because everybody's already imagined that joke at the counter when they see nacho fries.
Well,
it kind of says itself.
Well, you're not laughing just because it's nacho joke. Oh, man.
Fitbit has announced that it will introduce the first band dedicated to kids called the Fitbit Ace. Today's impossible question. Coffee is the most recognizable smell. Peanut butter is second. What is third?
Chocolate.
That's a reasonable guess, but incorrect. One more try. This is a living thing.
A living thing. A rose.
That's it. A rose. From our Did You Know category, you'll take 281 million steps and walk 113,000 miles in your lifetime. That's like walking around the entire planet 4.5 times. But I didn't see the whole planet. 1 in 4 adults has a stuffed animal in their bed.
Good Lord.
Matt's is blow up, but you know. You know, stuff, blow up. What's the difference, huh, Matt? The average 4-year-old kid asks why about 48 times a day. 30% of people say their most embarrassing moment happened when they were at their wedding.
What percentage?
30%. All right, coming up next, you got your news, sports, and weather. Currently here in the Sand Hills, we're looking at 53 degrees, 8 o'clock. Oh, no, I got a minute left. I misread the clock.
Would you say that one of your weddings was your most embarrassing moment?
I'd say all of them were. There's no distinction between it. All right, let me finish up then what I'm doing. Approximately 1 in 5 men refer to their wives as this when talking with other guys.
Ball and chain.
It's not ball and chain or battle axe. So. Or the old lady.
Bride.
The boss.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that a lot.
And over half of the people who have this have never used it in their car.
A flashlight.
A what?
Jumper cables.
Sunroof. I got 2 sunroofs. I have never used once.
Yeah.
We should see plenty of sunshine across the area overall today with some patchy high clouds moving through on occasion. It'll be breezy and mild. Around 60 in the north to around 70 in far southern parts of the state. Tonight, fair in the evening. Late tonight, clouds on the increase with lows in the mid-30s to low 40s. And we'll see more clouds than sun Saturday. Mild tomorrow with some hit and miss, sprinkles or light showers, a slender chance of some thunder. Highs tomorrow about 62 to 70. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
97.3 FM and 990 AM. WPDB Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen. And on the web at talk973.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The search for victims goes on in the rubble of a pedestrian bridge that collapsed near Florida International University in Miami. The death toll has risen to 6, with 10 people injured. Miami-Dade Police Detective Alvaro Zabaleta says it's now a recovery rather than a rescue operation.
This is a very slow process. They're still working away at that concrete. Engineers have told us last night that it's got to be done very carefully, not only because of the fact that we have to preserve evidence, not only because of the fact that there may be possible victims under there and we have to treat it very delicately, but because for the safety of the rescuers as well.
The new bridge was supposed to open next year and was reportedly undergoing a stress test when it gave way, crashing onto the busy highway below where vehicles were stopped for a red light. 7 American service members are dead, killed in the crash of a U.S. military helicopter in western Iraq. Apparently, the chopper hit a power line. It is not thought to have been shot down. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says Moscow will order some British diplomats out of the country. Retaliation for the mass expulsion of Russians announced earlier by London.
What's not clear yet is how many British diplomats and spies will be thrown out of Russia, although the Foreign Ministry here has said it'll be reciprocal and it will act soon, with a final decision being taken by President Putin. It's also not yet known if Moscow will respond to the other measures announced by the Prime Minister, such as arresting at the border people thought to be a threat to Britain, which presumably would include Russian intelligence agents trying to get back into the country.
That's BBC's Richard Galpin in Moscow. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures are down 37 points. NASDAQ futures off 6.5. S&P futures currently down 1 point. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is Jack from Banyan Hill. You like freedom? I do. You like money? I do too. If you like freedom and money, then you're going to love Freedom Checks. You see, over the next few months, an estimated $34.6 billion is up for grabs to anyone who stakes their claim. Yep, you heard right. $34.6 billion. To get all the details, just go to www.freedomchecks123.com. Thousands of people are already lined up to cash in. Take Doug, for example. He's a 46-year-old from Joplin, Missouri, who's set to get a check for $24,075. And if Doug can do this, I've got a hunch that you can too. But here's the thing. If you want a chance to grab your full share of this $34.6 billion payout, you must have your ducks in a row by April 1st. So don't wait. Get over to www.freedomchecks123.com before the April 1st deadline. That's www.freedomchecks123.com.
3 African countries that are home to the bulk of the continent's elephants have signed a petition asking Britain and the rest of the EU to ban the legal trade in antique ivory.
Botswana is probably the last real sanctuary of elephants in Africa. Half of African elephants, over 200,000 animals, are here and just over the borders in the surrounding countries. There has been poaching encroaching onto Botswana's space, so there's worries about that. There was a huge spike in ivory poaching just a few years ago. There's been a steady decline over the last few years, but still, the message from the summit is more elephants are being killed by poachers every year than are being born. The populations of African elephants are reducing by the thousands every year.
That's BBC's Alistair Leathead. Iraq's Kurdish region has commemorated the 30th anniversary of Saddam Hussein's 1988 gas attack, killed 5,000. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Proponents of tougher gun laws facing an uphill battle in the states.
Despite the ambitions of the Enough is Enough movement that sprouted in the wake of the high school shooting in Parkland, Florida last month, an Associated Press review finds a virtual stalemate on gun legislation at the state level. An AP survey of bill activity in state legislatures before and after the Parkland shooting finds roughly an equal number of bills to limit gun rights and to expand gun rights, about 300 in each category. Republicans have sponsored over 80% of bills to expand gun rights. Democrats have introduced more than 90% of bills to limit them. A Gallup poll released Wednesday showed about 2/3 of respondents support stricter gun laws. I'm Mike Rossian.
The embattled Veterans Affairs Secretary David Shulkin is making it clear that he has no intention of leaving voluntarily. This as rumors of his pending departure continue to swirl. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Steve Adams, candidate for sheriff, says he can save millions of dollars for Moore County taxpayers. He can, and here's just one way. Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and I want to tell you about two men who think differently about how to spend your money. First, our current sheriff. He was completely in charge of the design and building of the brand new jail facility. When he built it, he knew prisoners like to stop up toilets and cause flooding. If you watch much TV, you knew it. I know I did. In fact, this bad behavior is so prevalent, there's a company that makes their money installing devices to prevent that kind of foolishness. Well, the sheriff decided not to use them, and it's cost us a fortune. Notice I said it cost us, not him. So far, as hard as this may be for you to believe, over $200,000 and counting in water bills. But wait, the sheriff finally contacted the company to come fix the problem, and that's going to cost you another $100,000. That's $300,000. That's the way the establishment sheriff works. It's your money. Who cares? Now listen to what Steve Adams will do. This is just one idea. The sheriff contracted for a lab to be built into the new building. It's nice, but the lab's just sitting there, empty, useless. Steve understands that we need a top line of the finest forensics capability and persons we can get. For starters, Steve will purchase a new gas chromatograph. This is a piece of equipment that helps ID drugs. He can buy it for far less than the price of just the water that was wasted. You see, in order to charge someone with a drug offense, you must verify in a lab that it actually is what you're charging the person with possessing. Right now, drugs are sent off to the state. It takes a long time. It can take over a year, and in fact, the state can even refuse to take submissions, and they do. The sheriff often sends them to a private lab. All that costs money and time. We had our own lab. Not only could we move these people through the system a lot quicker, but we could charge other agencies for the lab services, and they'll jump at that offer. In other words, we quit spending your money to process criminal behavior and start spending it on schools or whatever the commissioners deem a priority. No matter how you slice it, this makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Please don't be charmed by the incumbent. I'm just asking you to listen. When you hear all Steve's plans, the ones he will implement, I think you're going to want him as your next sheriff. Steve Adams is who I'm backing, and I hope you will too.
This is Steve Leader Adams. I want to thank again the thousands of you who signed my petition, which guarantees that I will be on the November 6th ballot. I will not be on the May 8th primary ballot when the voters will decide who will be running against me. My complete plan at adamsforsheriff.com shows you, the taxpayer, how I will save you millions of dollars. That's adamsforsheriff.com. Paid for by Adams for Sheriff.
Donuts so heavenly you'd think they were made by angels. Southern Angel Donut Company is now open for your heavenly pleasure in Olmsted Village behind the First National Bank. Sarah and the Angels are up daily at 3 a.m. making donuts the old-fashioned way, preparing holy taste bud delights like the maple bacon donut or their special apple fritters. And hey, Southern Angel Donuts make great business icebreakers because who doesn't like a great donut? Give Southern Angel Donuts a try today. Open 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. daily.
Good health maintenance is about more than just good medicine. That's why Health Innovation Pharmacy is offering the Ideal Protein Weight Loss Clinic program. The CDC identifies obesity as public enemy number 1. Now, we could also list the issues like diabetes, heart disease, stroke, vision issues, and many others. But you know them already. What this program offers is the knowledge to help you win the weight loss fight without losing muscle mass. Stop by Health Innovation and let them discuss how the 2-step Ideal Protein Weight Loss program will help you lose weight, but also maintain that weight loss. Book your journey into good health today. Also, it's flu season, so don't forget your flu and shingles shot. Health Innovation Pharmacy on Pinehurst Avenue in Southern Pines, locally owned and serving Moore County since 2001.
Explore, experiment, create, repeat. Keys Appliance Center has the KitchenAid tools you need and the savings you want, with up to $1,600 back on your dream kitchen with KitchenAid brand appliances. Stop in today. There's no limit on what you can craft in your kitchen. Designed to empower performance and built for your exploration, KitchenAid and Keys Appliance Center help you discover your culinary ambition. Shop today at Keys Appliance Center for KitchenAid brand appliances. Offer valid January 3rd through July 18th, 2018. See store for full details and qualified models. Metaphorically speaking, who is driving your car? You or the daily stress that comes from living in this modern world? Meditation has been scientifically proven to be beneficial in treating stress and stress-related illnesses. Neurofeedback is a way to measure that process and improve your response to stress. Neurofeedback addresses a host of issues like ADD, anxiety, ADHD, chronic pain, depression, migraines, sleep disorders, and more. Right Chiropractic offers neurofeedback as another tool in a host of powerful healing technologies. Take back the wheel and get on the straight road with neurofeedback. Call Right Chiropractic for a discussion on how the neurofeedback method can benefit you. Call 673-2225.
NCN News, I'm Jeff Hamlin. A community in Warren County will light candles this afternoon in memory of neighbors kidnapped, beaten, and burned in a deadly home invasion. The vigil was planned before police caught the accused killers on Wednesday. Authorities say that Lester Kearney and Kevin Munn are charged with first-degree murder in the death of 76-year-old Nancy Alford. Police say one of the men forced Alford to drive to a nearby ATM. When they returned to the Alford's home, her husband John was beaten. The house was set on fire. He escaped, but she did not. Pete Richardson, the owner of Lake Gaston Pizza, tells WREL the entire area followed the situation closely.
I've had customers tell me that they're on lockdown. You know, they don't want to go home.
Investigators say a cigarette sparked a massive fire at a retirement community in Lancaster County, South Carolina. The fire destroyed 3 homes and badly burned another Thursday afternoon. 5 other homes had minor damage. There were no injuries reported. Dan Markin tells WCNC his parents' home was significantly damaged.
Mother said the house is on fire. I mean, it looked like a war zone. It was just smoke and
fire, and chaos.
The Red Cross assisting at least 4 people. A professional safety trainer says he believes that teachers can be trained to be part of the solution to school safety if they want to be. Michael Macario with Regional Proving Grounds told members of a legislative subcommittee he has had conversations with teachers with some arms experience.
I've already been able to identify some folks locally who said I would absolutely do that. Some of them are already have a concealed handgun permit. Some of them do recreational shooting. They don't understand necessarily at this point what that moment would look like.
You're listening to NCN News.
Music lovers love UNC TV Spring Fundraiser, starting tonight at 9 and continuing tomorrow. Starting at 1, you've got a backstage pass to the superstars of pop, rock, R&B, and country. Celine Dion, Frankie Valli, Little Richard, Jimmy Buffett, Aretha, the Bee Gees, plus the biggest British invaders, and the legendary Highwaymen, Willie, Waylon, Johnny, and Chris. Turn it up. UNC TV Spring Fundraiser. See what's on at unctv.org/specials.
The Powerade State Games of North Carolina are coming this June to the Piedmont Triad. Registration is open for athletes of all ages and skill levels in 24 different sports. The Powerade State Games feature 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on the largest sports festival of the year. Visit PoweradeStateGames.org today. The Powerade State Games are brought to you by BB&T, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, and Lowe's Foods. For more information, visit PoweradeStateGames.org.
At least 6 people are dead after a pedestrian bridge collapsed at Florida International University in Sweetwater, Florida. A stress test was being performed when the bridge collapsed on Thursday afternoon. Correspondent Manuel Borriquez is at the scene and says Miami-Dade officials say the operation has turned from rescue to recovery.
There are still multiple teams around it, not only trying to figure out how to begin to clear some of that rubble, but also trying to investigate what went wrong, what caused the bridge to collapse.
New Orleans Saints owner Tom Benson has died. CBS News' Debbie Rodriguez has more.
He made his mark on the sports world as the longtime owner of the New Orleans Saints. Local musicians named a song after Tom Benson. They called it the Benson Boogie. He was at the helm as the Saints rose from laughingstock to a successful franchise. He also bought the city's NBA team, the Pelicans, in 2012. Tom Benson has died at the age of 90. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Police in Henderson say 2 people were killed and a 3rd person was wounded in a shooting. WREL reports that the Henderson Police Department said officers responding to a home found 2 people dead of gunshot wounds. The victims were identified by police as 27-year-old Taheem Shabazz Person and 28-year-old Dyrell Jamal Kittrell. According to police, 21-year-old Devontae Jamal Jones was taken to the hospital for treatment, but his condition is not known. The shootings happened on Wednesday. Police have not discussed a possible motive in the shooting. An up-and-down day for North Carolina teams in the NCAA basketball tournament. Duke wound up advancing to the 2nd round to defeat Iona. However, Seton Hall ends NC State's season. Gonzaga held off UNC Greensboro, and Kentucky defeated Davidson. Jeff Hamlin, NCN News.
We'll finish out the week mostly sunny overall today, with some streaky high clouds passing over from time to time. It'll be breezy and mild, our highs ranging from around 60 in the north to around 70 in southernmost parts of the state. Tonight, fair in the evening. Clouds will be increasing later with lows in the mid-30s to low 40s. And we'll call it partly to mostly cloudy Saturday. Mild tomorrow with some scattered sprinkles or light showers and a slender chance of some thunder. Highs tomorrow low 60s to around 70. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Right now, sunny skies, 53 degrees, humidity 38%, dew point 28, pressure 2988. Winds west-southwest today. Visibility is at 10 statute miles. Good morning. It's 8:15. Let's take a look at your Sandhills news for this Friday. Moore County Schools reached a milestone yesterday when it broke ground on the new Area 1 elementary school on Camp Easter Road. Moore County Schools released groundbreaking photos on social media. The school is being built to relieve overcrowding at Bass, Lakeview, and Sandhills Farm Life Elementary schools. According to Moore County Schools, the building will be roughly 113,000 square feet and hold 800 students from kindergarten to 5th grade. The classroom wings in the school will have plenty of windows to allow natural light in each classroom. The school will also be set up to provide opportunities for self-guided learning and team teaching strategies. The school's construction is scheduled to be complete in May of next year, with students starting in August of the 2019-20 season. Authorities responded Thursday morning to separate single-vehicle wrecks involving trees in Moore County. The most severe of the two accidents occurred at 11:40 in the morning near the intersection of North May Street and Equestrian Road in Southern Pines. A man was airlifted to a hospital after his car was did strike a pine tree across the street from the Equine Health Center. First responders found the man trapped inside his heavily damaged Nissan Infiniti. They had to use extraction tools to get him out of there. And earlier on Tuesday, authorities responded to a single-vehicle wreck involving a Mustang that plowed through a row of crepe myrtles on US 1. No one seriously injured in that accident, which was reported around 10:30 in the morning near Rosemark Road in Aberdeen. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning, but stand by. Here comes your latest in sports right here on Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. It's 8:18.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The 9-seeded Wolfpack lost yesterday to Big East 8-seed Seton Hall, 94-83. Elric Freeman played his heart out. He scored 36 for the Pack, twice as many points as the team's second leading scorer, Torn Dorn.
It was, win or my college career is over. So, every bit of what I was doing out there was just because I didn't want to go home.
Marvin Bagley III had 22 points and 7 rebounds to lead the number 2 Blue Devils in a hammering of 15-seed Iona, 89-67 yesterday. Trevon Duval added 19 points and 8 assists.
They're pretty hard to beat when everyone's scoring like that because, when you try to stop one guy, then another guy's going.
And Grayson Allen finished with 16 points and a game-high 9 assists. Duval's performance received his seal of approval.
I was so proud of him. He was knocking down shots, and, guys have to guard him because he can shoot.
UNC Greensboro came back from a 12-point deficit and had a late 2-point lead, but the 13th seed ended up falling to 4-seed Gonzaga, 68-64, and Kentucky topped Davidson 78-73, despite failing to make a single three-pointer. Another finals, a pair of double-digit seeds moved into the second round as number 11 Loyola of Chicago and number 13 Buffalo both won yesterday. The 11-seeded Ramblers rambled to a 64-62 upset of number 6 Miami, and Wes Clark had 25 points while Jeremy Harris added 23 for the Buffalo Bulls, who won by 21 in a rout over 4-seed Arizona, 89-68.
Been putting in work all year. Times after practice, we always stand after practice, before practice, late at night.
Bracket bust in Buffalo. ESPN reported just 10% of its brackets filled out on its website picked Buffalo over Arizona, and 5% had Arizona winning it all. The Tar Heels prepped and ready for their first-round debut in this year's tournament. The defending champs facing a challenge by 15-seed Lipscomb in a 2:45 tip-off from Charlotte. This is NCN Sports.
A Democrat in the governor's mansion, an unconventional Republican in the White House, new state, House, and Senate election maps, all important factors for politics and public policy in North Carolina. What does it all mean? Carolina Journal has the answers, available each month as a free newspaper, every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
The Powerade State Games of North Carolina are coming this June to the Piedmont Triad. Registration is open for athletes of all ages and skill levels in 24 different sports. The Powerade State Games feature 13,000 athletes in 700 teams. Don't miss out on the largest sports festival of the year. Visit PoweradeStateGames.org today. The Powerade State Games are brought to you by BB&T, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, and Lowe's Foods. For more information, visit PoweradeStateGames.org.
As mentioned a moment ago, the Tar Heels taking on 15-seed Lipscomb in a 2:45 tip from Charlotte. Yesterday, Coach Roy Williams talked about what challenges they might present the Tar Heels, what challenges they might present Carolina.
The one thing that really jumps out at me is Matthews has shot, I think, I don't have the stats up here in front of me, I think he shot 130 or 140 more free throws than anybody on our team. I mean, and that's remarkable. Tiger may have made another birdie. My phone's buzzing. That was not. That was somebody wanting tickets. Why even check the daggum thing?
And Tiger did hit some birdies, too. He's 4 shots off the lead after hitting a 68 at the PGA's Arnold Palmer Invitational at Orlando. Henrik Stenson is the leader. He drained 9 birdies for an 8-under 64 in the first round. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
I'm an official sounding scientist, and I'm here for a comfort experiment. We're going to recreate the way your home heating system works in your car. Crank up your heat. Blast it at your face. Starting to break a sweat? This is central heating. A Mitsubishi Electric Zone comfort solution with hyperheating allows you to get just the right amount of heat exactly where you need it. Fast. No cold drafts. It's comfort made personal. This concludes our little comfort experiment.
Four Seasons Heating and Air, the company that wants you to get comfortable with them. 235-0606. Donuts so heavenly you'd think they were made by angels. Southern Angel Donut Company is now open for your heavenly pleasure in Olmsted Village behind the First National Bank. Sarah and the Angels are up daily at 3 a.m. making donuts the old-fashioned way, preparing holy taste bud delights like the maple bacon donut or their special apple fritters. And hey, Southern Angel Donuts make great business icebreakers because who doesn't like a great donut? Give Southern Angel Donuts a try today. Open 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. daily.
Your European car maintenance costs too high? Better ask Rick. Vintage and Modern European at NC 211 East and Indiana and Aberdeen is your choice when highly skilled, fairly priced service or repair is needed. Rick provides uncompromising white glove premium service at non-premium prices. Thinking of buying a pre-owned European model? Need a pre-purchase exam? Better ask Rick. Don't let high overhead foreign car dealers frighten you into making needless repairs. Ask Rick for fully authorized European service and repair at Vintage and Modern, 2809 East Indiana, 910-944-1023 in Aberdeen.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. In my last job, I obviously had way too much time on my hands one day. I sent out a company-wide memo announcing that I was going to be instituting a new policy of selecting an employee of the month each month. Something, by the way, that I had no authority to do. I also announced that I would be selecting the person each month based upon certain criteria desirable in an employee. About 10 minutes later, I sent out another email announcing that I was the employee of the month. I did this every month from that point on. It was good-naturedly taken for what it was, a joke. Well, once again, the fix is in, and this time it's no joke. At least it's not a funny joke. How is there anything fair about the way the local establishment Republicans are handling this election cycle? Do their bylaws mean anything to them, or do they just discard them when it's not convenient? Bob Shockey's been mentioned before on here. He's the president of the Republican Men's Club. The president. This group's supposed to remain neutral. And that will encourage others to run and not give an unfair advantage to the incumbent. Well, that part's become a joke, too, a real joke. Bob is the treasurer for the sheriff. Frank Rodriguez, the chief deputy, is on the executive committee. And remember, the sheriff's not the only Republican running. Yep, the fix is in. They've gone to a great deal of trouble to make this happen. I hope you have a good weekend. From the Zumwalt Zone.
We should see plenty of sunshine across the area overall today, with some patchy high clouds moving through on occasion. It'll be breezy and mild. Our highs ranging from around 60 in the north to around 70 in far southern parts of the state. Tonight, fair in the evening. Late tonight, clouds on the increase with lows in the mid-30s to low 40s. And we'll see more clouds than sun Saturday. Mild tomorrow with some hit and miss. Sprinkles or light showers. A slender chance of some thunder. Highs tomorrow about 62 to 70. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' number one morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
30,000 people who work at Toys R Us stores are going to be looking for new jobs soon.
Toys R Us was frank. Holiday sales came in well below worst-case projections. The company also said it took a hit from competitors like Target, Walmart, and Amazon that do not rely exclusively on toys for profit.
Oh, boy, I've never gotten a package this big.
When it snows, I need to be plowed.
It's Friday.
Friday.
Love that show.
I love this show. I love being on the radio.
I love lamp.
Do you really love the lamp, or are you just saying it because you saw it? I don't know.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Showtime.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams.
And I'm Matt Horsey, the LeaderMan's befuddled sidekick. Gas went up a little bit yesterday, so if you're going to fill up, probably ought to do it today. They're predicting it's going to keep going up. Fill it up now while it's a little cheaper. I don't have my phone today, so don't bother texting.
Don't forget, of course, we are being heard and seen around the world on our live video stream, as well as our crystal clear digital audio stream. For the video, you just go to our website at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is the link, and that will get you there. If you're on a mobile device, use the YouTube app, put Mornings with the LeaderMan in it. LeaderMan, all one word. If you're on the mobile device and just want audio, we suggest iTunes, TuneIn. Either one of those will get it done, as well as other players. Just put WEEB in the search, and if you're on the website, the icon in the upper right-hand corner of any of the web pages at talk973.com that says Listen Live, tap that once, and you're listening that quick. Some of those listening to us around the world today include Barrington, Rhode Island, Salzburg, Pennsylvania. Toronto is online. Kitchener, Ontario, Canada is online. Let's see. Coarse California. Norcross, Georgia. Colorado Springs is on. Lakeport, California. A whole bunch of people in North Carolina. Greenville, Kentucky. Just some of the thousands listening in this morning. Elmore, Alabama.
Good morning, y'all.
All right. Welcome to all of you, and welcome to everyone locally listening at Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area. It's going to be a nice one, so enjoy it. Mostly sunny with a high of 69. Then tonight, partly cloudy, 45 for a low. Small chance of scattered showers tomorrow. No downpour, but it'll be mostly cloudy throughout the day. Still a nice day for the Pinehurst St. Patrick's Day Parade. And I, along with Nick and Colt the dogs, will be in the parade tomorrow. We're number 12 in the lineup. But hope to see all of you there. And that'll be a high of 65 tomorrow. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, a little bit better chance of those scattered showers, a little 47. Most of the showers will be out of here Sunday, but still some lingering showers could pop up. Partly cloudy, 61. Monday, mostly cloudy, chance of showers, 55, 62 on Tuesday, 56 Wednesday, and 56 Thursday. Right now around the Sandhills, winds are west-southwest at 8, visibility 10 statute miles. Pressure 2988, dew point 28, humidity 38. It's sunny and 53 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. All right, let's hit the rim shots this morning and get those handled. Rob Kardashian and other Kardashian turns 31 tomorrow. So what do you get for a man who devours everything he sees? It's the first time Rob Kardashian has ever been mentioned, with 31 not followed by Flavors. So Mike Love of the Beach Boys turned 77. He did that yesterday. These days, Love is singing, "Help Me, I've Fallen and Can't Get Up, Rhonda." Slow day for these things. Jimmy Kimmel says political commentary has cost him commercially.
Oh, you think?
You think? Half the country hates you now, Jimmy. You did that all by yourself. Because, as we all know, nobody wants to watch late-night hosts do jokes about Donald Trump. Except those that just can't get over the fact that their horrible candidate lost. New Orleans Saints owner Tom Benson died at the age of 90. So here's my question. If they have his funeral in a church, will the other NFL owners in attendance kneel? Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, meaning millions of people will be eating green food. But remember, if you're at Chipotle's, make sure you ask if the food is supposed to be green before you eat it. Donald Trump Jr.'s wife has filed for divorce. Man, I had the wrong Donald in the Trump family divorce pool, so I guess I'm out. President Trump's approval ratings is up to 40%, thus the flag at half-mast in front of CNN. Haven't seen Rachel Maddow this glum since MSLSD folded the softball team. Officials are warning college students going on spring break to avoid Mexico. Also being warned to avoid Mexico, everyone else, everywhere, always. 26% of people say they're almost constantly online. Oh, boy, can't go the day without your presence being online, right? The other 74% are too busy checking Facebook to take part in the survey. And lastly, since Taco Bell debuted nacho fries on January 25th, they sold over 53 million orders. And their customers have added 53 million chins. And that's your rim shots for today. All right, 8:33 past the hour. Okay, little lady, get up here and say it loud and proud for us.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
What we've got here is failure to mutate.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had bad traits, you go to school and learn the golden rule.
All right, my friends, it's time once again. Drawing that big breath of air, let our big hairy gray chest stick out. Start across the floor with style, like the Duke, John Wayne. Open up your closet doors. Look at all 30 if you're Liberty Safe. And today we're going to go to Liberty Safe number 21. No, switch that. Now we're going to stay with 20 anyway. Yeah, I like these. Bunch of revolvers, classic revolvers in here. We'll let Matt reach in and grab one.
All right, let's go with a Colt Cobra. This is a 38 special 2-inch barrel with a Hogue over-molded grip and stainless steel finish. 6 rounds, and here's your holster, Steve.
All right, I feel like Jack Webb now. Throw it into the
Without the
holster,
cigarettes.
huh?
Without the cigarettes.
Yeah. All right, throw it into the holster, pin on our badge, grab 5 cans of whoop ass as we head out the door now in relentless pursuit of stupid criminal news. Both of the people in this relationship are clearly living in some kind of fantasy world, and that became a life or death problem. 29-year-old guy named Alex Lavelle from Camas, Washington, lives with his girlfriend, 30-year-old Emily Javier. They've been together for 2 years, but Alex started neglecting her, woman needs because he became obsessed with video games. He says, quote, "It killed my sex drive. I was in training, too. It exhausted me. I felt bad because she needed affection." Emily had a different take on it. She was pretty sure he was cheating on her. And she says she found Tinder on his phone and a red hair in the drain.
How do you get a whole damn rabbit down the drain?
Anyway, her hair is dyed green, so it couldn't have been hers. So a few weeks ago, she went out and bought a samurai sword. The kind that the ninjas use.
Oh!
And then stabbed him while he slept.
Yikes.
He survived, and now Emily is being held and jailed on attempted murder charges. Don't worry, plenty of ladies in there willing to meet your, quote, needs.
She was green with envy.
Alex swears he didn't cheat. and that he hasn't had Tinder on his phone since they got together. Plus, it wouldn't work for him anyway. Quote, I'm not a model or 6'3", tall dudes slay Tinder. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, that's it. Only tall guys can use Tinder.
Looking at a picture of her, she's not terrible. Despite the
that
green hair.
And, you know, the psychotic streak.
And looking at a picture of him, well, yeah, I can see why I wouldn't want him on you, but...
Apparently she cut up his hands in the process. So.
All right, stupid criminal news number 2 this morning.
I think just because he's a dude is the reason I wouldn't want him on there, Steve, but we have different criteria for things.
Well, he looks... Well, I won't. Anyway, moving on. Well, this might be the first time we've seen criminals get busted because of an empty jar of ragu. A 28-year-old guy named John Silva and a 36-year-old named Derek Irving broke into a guy's house in DeLand, Florida. Happened early Tuesday morning, and after they stole some stuff, they decided to cover their tracks by starting a fire. They wanted it to look accidental, so they poured a jar of ragu into a pot on the stove and put a washcloth next to the burner to set it on fire, set the place on fire, then left.
Saucy guys.
The man who lived in the house was at work, but he could watch his security cameras remotely, and after his motion detector alerted him that something was going down, he saw the footage and called the police. Well, they pulled over John and Derek and saw one key piece of evidence linking them to the crime. The empty jar of ragu. They were both arrested for unarmed burglary, grand theft, and arson. Fortunately, the fire plan didn't work. There was some smoke damage, but the house didn't burn down. And the guy who they robbed thought it was pretty dumb plan anyway. Quote, they were just trying to make it look like I left the stove on, but who gets up at 2 a.m. and fixes spaghetti? And plus, looking at the picture of these guys, they just look stupid.
They do. They do look stupid. And they were apparently in a very bad mood because they were both on the ragu.
All right, moving on, stupid criminal news number 3. If you want to make big money on a robbery, I'm not sure you should be hitting a dirt cheap buffet restaurant and a business that clearly is on its last leg, but maybe this guy knows something more than I do. An 18-year-old guy named Tyler Espinosa from Billings, Montana, walked into a Golden Corral buffet on Wednesday afternoon with a box cutter and demanded cash. An employee gave him some money, and then he left, walked across the parking lot to a Barnes & Noble, and robbed them too. The cashier there also gave him cash, but by that point, the police had arrived and called Tyler after he left the Barnes & Noble. He's facing 2 charges of felony robbery and a charge of just being an ignoramus. I mean, who robs a place and then goes across the street and robs another one?
Tyler. You dumbass.
Yeah, idiot. All right, that's your stupid criminal news for this Friday. A TSIF thing. Steve, it's Friday. 8:41 past the hour. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we got lots of facts for you today. And not all of them are random, but we'll start out with the random facts for you on this Friday.
And now it's time for...
Random facts.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, random facts for Friday. I can get to them. At any given moment, there are approximately 9,700 planes carrying 1.27 million people in the sky at any given moment. 1.25 million people are flying. That's a lot of folks.
By the way, yesterday or the day before, we had a fact that more people were killed by airline emissions than crashes.
Jet exhaust.
Yeah, that is a very dubious claim. I looked into that a little bit.
I had to give you something to do for the day.
Yeah.
The difference between Great Britain and the UK is that Great Britain is just England, Scotland, and Wales. The UK also includes Northern Ireland. So they're not one and the same. Bet you didn't know that. I didn't.
I did know that, kind of.
If you could see the entire universe, it would look like a light beige color. But you can't, so how do we know? And every Apple, iPhone, iPad, and Mac computer shows the time as 9:41 a.m. in ads. Apple picked that time because it's approximately when Steve Jobs would make his biggest announcement during their presentations. The inner hidden meeting. We just had to know. Why is the author telling us it's 9:41? That kind of crap. And your spare fact for today is there have been 1,971 people elected to the U.S. Senate in history, and only 10 are black. Now, St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Here are 5 little fun facts for you about St. Patty's Day. 60% of Americans plan to celebrate this year. They'll spend an average of $39 each, and will spend it all-time high on about $5.9 billion collectively. It's just the 4th most popular day of the year to tie one on. The top 3 drinking days are New Year's Eve, Christmas, and 4th of July. 83% of people who plan to celebrate this year will wear something green. Just over 33 million Americans have Irish ancestry. The 2 states with the highest percentage are, do you know them?
Irish ancestry, I'm going to say Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
Well, you get 50%. That's the failure rate. So it's Massachusetts and New Hampshire. And a leprechaun's pot of gold filled with 1,000 ounces of gold coins would run you a cool $1.3 million this year.
Well, that's a bunch of crap. It depends on the size of the pot.
On another note, not many places are giving away free food for St. Patrick's Day this year, but there are a lot of specialty items out there. McDonald's has their Shamrock Shakes. Dunkin' Donuts has mint brownie donuts. Krispy Kreme has green glazed donuts. Dairy Queen has their mint Oreo Blizzard, and you can get free mint chip and Oreo milkshake at Baskin-Robbins tomorrow.
We should note we have we are giving away free prime rib yesterday here at the station.
If you take an Uber home from the bar this weekend, check the seat before you get out. 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. are the most common times people leave stuff behind because that's when everybody's heading home drunk. Expect that to kick into overdrive on St. Patrick's Day. Uber just released stats on all the stuff people left behind last year. The top 10 items we forgot were our phone, wallet, keys, clothing, glasses, a handbag or purse, backpacks, e-cigarettes, headphones, and IDs. Sunday and Saturdays are the most common days to leave stuff behind. It's the rarest on Wednesdays and Tuesdays. And the cities that leave the most stuff behind are Du Bois, Pennsylvania, Athens, Georgia, Stillwater, Oklahoma, Shreveport, Louisiana, Boone, North Carolina, possibly because they're all big college towns. And for some reason, mid-September through October is the most popular time of the year to forget stuff. The top 5 days were all between September 17th and October 22nd. Man, the stuff that keeps stats on, huh? Now, here's an interesting one about couples.
I'll be the judge of that.
There's an old cliche that people don't change, but apparently your persuasive powers can overcome all that. And your hypnotic powers. According to a new survey, 9 out of 10 people say they've, quote, made improvements to their significant other. In other words, there's a real good chance both of you and your partner think you've changed each other. The top 5 ways we've changed them are making them cleaner, helping their fashion sense, helping improve their diet and exercise habits, making them more ambitious and driven, and making them more upbeat and fun. Yeah, get out there and make a lot of money so I can divorce you, dummy. Or just give me my car and vet and I'll be on my way. No, give me my car, my vet, and your house, and and you'll be on your way. How's that sound? Gee, that sounds real familiar.
I think a lot of people would say they improved their ex by making them go away.
No, they improved their financial standing by making them go away. I did that. But 64% of the people say the job isn't over. And there's at least one other thing about their significant other they still need working on.
And I'll bet most of those would say, I love you just the way you are.
Yeah. Maybe that's okay, though. The survey also found 75% of men and 67% of women say they're happy with the way their partner has changed them. No, I'm not. No. Maybe that's why I didn't change. You married me for what I am and plan to become. And then you got a problem with it. Go figure. Right?
That's right.
Here's a pro tip. If Dad's too drunk to inject his own heroin, just let him go without it. In Salisbury, Maryland, 29-year-old Justine Nicole Whitaker was just handed a 10-year prison sentence for her involvement in the October death of her father, 50-year-old Nathaniel Whitaker. She'll only have to serve 3 of those years, as the other 7 were suspended. After suffering cardiac arrest, emergency medical personnel unsuccessfully attempted life-saving efforts, and the state's attorney office said Whitaker was pronounced dead at the scene, which was a hotel room that he shared with his daughter. During an interview with detectives, Justine admitted to injecting her father with heroin after he asked her to do it because he was too intoxicated to do it himself. A forensic pathologist who conducted the autopsy determined he died from a fentanyl overdose. Now, for you youngsters out there thinking if the word try some ever comes up in your circle concerning heroin, here's why you never want to put that garbage in you. Today, in today's world, junkies have built up immunity to the heroin to the point that it's not as good a high as they want. And so that's why the suppliers mix fentanyl with it. It gives it a lot more kick. And how much fentanyl they put with it, well, fentanyl will stop your heart and kill you.
Yeah, and by kick we mean just the opposite. The
stupor you go in.
Stupor.
And believe it or not, the junkies don't want a supplier whose supply hasn't killed a couple of people. The more it has killed to a point, the better they like it because they got resistance to it and can probably survive the injection. Whereas a newbie who injects it will probably has a much bigger probability of dying from the injection because of the fentanyl added to it. But if there's a batch out there and it's got three kills under its belt, that's the one the junkies go after. And of course, they're the repeat business that the dealers depend on.
It's a great world, isn't it?
So this is why you never, ever want to try it. You might as well play Russian roulette with a real gun because that's what you're doing when you stick that needle in your arm. And supposedly the high is so good that, you're basically hooked from the first one. Then you just want to try it again because it was fun if you survive it. But just remember, being normal is a great high unto itself. Because isn't that what everybody tries to get back to when they go like with drinking booze or smoking pot and you're off in Never Never Land? You're just waiting for it to wear off so you can feel normal again? And you can't wait till you do?
I heard a lot of people try to achieve the sense of being what it is like to be me with drugs.
You? Why would everybody want that nightmare? Well, here's why you don't want to be like Matt, because we'll just start buzzing him for who he is.
Oh, no.
All right, let's play a little Spy the Lie.
Don't do it, Steve!
Yeah, it's our favorite torture sound effect for Matt. All of the following celebrities are known to be occasionally consult a psychic, except for one, Spy the Lie. Jimmy Fallon, Brad Pitt, Cameron Diaz, Chelsea Handler, Angelina Jolie.
That's Brad Pitt, Steve.
His favorite psychic is Ron Bard.
Should have known.
You want to guess again?
Who was the first one?
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon has not. He's out on cloud nine all by himself.
Got a reasonable head.
All of the following men's college basketball teams made it to the big dance and are part of the March Madness except for one, Spy the Lie. St. Bonaventure Bonnies, Wagner Seahawks, Rayford Highlanders, Maryland Baltimore Country Retrievers, Litchcomb Bisons.
That would be the Rayford Highlanders.
That would be wrong once again. They made it, it was the Wagner Seahawks. They made it to the NIT, though, but they didn't make it to the big dance. All of the following TV shows are getting reboots. Yes, they're all coming back with new episodes except for one.
Yay.
Spy the Lie. The Anima, let's see.
The Anima?
No.
Good Lord.
Animanics, I think that's how it's said. Amazing Stories, Bewitched, Charmed, or The A-Team.
That would be Bewitched.
Yeah.
The A-Team.
It is the A-Team.
Oh,
it's
thank
being
God.
shopped around, but no takers as of yet. The A-Team, of course, is the team of specialists who shoot more bullets than anybody per capita at a scene. They'll shoot at least 6,000 bullets. Never nick a person.
That's true, but
they are the worst shots known to mankind. They send them in to do the job.
It's not far off of reality, though. In gun battles, most bullets never hit anybody.
I know, but they don't shoot as many as the 18.
No, those guys are using machine guns and everything else, point-blank range.
And the bad guy never gets hit.
Unlike Chuck Norris, who all he has to do is swing around, firing a machine gun, and guys fall out from behind trees and everything else.
Yeah, one kick to the head and one punch and you're down. But it seems like when you get in those mixed martial arts cages, it doesn't work like that. I have seen one fella just get the tar beat out of him. He was definitely going to lose the decision. And 20 seconds before the last round was over, he ran across the ring, jumped up, kneed the guy in the ribs. He breaks the rib cage, and the guy bends over and taps out. After laying that whooping on that guy all for 3 rounds. All right, so it goes. For this Friday and this week, have yourself a great, safe weekend. We'll see you back bright and early Monday for a Mundane Monday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pops you hear on our airwaves because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs. And don't forget, millions of Americans have fought and died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and the LeaderMan, and Nick and Colt the dog. We'll all see you at the St. Patty's Day Parade tomorrow.
Is that it? And I'm Matt Horsey with a truism from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Stay tuned for Chris Plant, Rush Limbaugh at noon, Hannity at 3, Levin at 6. Follow us and like us on Facebook.com/WEEB990. We'll be back on Monday at 7 for Mornings with the LeaderMan here on Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB.
Come back. You'd better be laughing.
So, what have we learned? Heck, I don't know. But this is one crazy.